Hi all, welcome back to Vastrakala by VS Creations. Hope you got a chance to watch our earlier two videos on fabric grain and patterns. It would be very interesting to learn about churidar cutting based on pattern and fashion design principles. This video is out of demand from some good friends and followers of this channel. YouTube, of course, is filled up with lots of churidar cutting videos, but invariably most of them do a direct marking and cutting on the fabric. And also, they all do have joints to accommodate for the length of a churidar. Most of the ready-made dress materials currently available in the market come with 2 to 2.5 meters of cloth for the churidars, and many of us even have a tough time getting it stitched. But applying the principles of grain line and pattern making, a churidar with a decent amount of chudis, that too without a joint, is possible. Only that once we make a churidar pattern for ourselves, we can just use it every time to get exactly the same fitting. Firstly, let's prepare the paper pattern. Any thick sheet of paper can be used for this purpose. Brown paper rolls would be an ideal choice. Then we need to take perfect body measurements. Shall demonstrate this by showing the way it's done at calf level and ankle level. Like, you run the tape around and at least one finger in between for the ease. Also, from the waist level or wherever you tie your churidar, measure the length of each levels like the thigh, knee, calf and ankle. Also, we will take the round hip measurement plus 6 to 8 inches of ease. And let's see how to draft the pattern. Let's understand this on a miniature. On the paper that you wish to do the drafting, make a horizontal level line which would be 1/4 round hip plus 6 to 8 inches. Let's mark the length along the length of the paper. Starting from the horizontal line, mark the level of the thigh. At this point, mark half of round thigh measurement plus 1 or 2 inches. Again, from the horizontal line, mark the level of the knee. At this point, mark half round knee measurement. Please have in mind from this point to mark all horizontal measurements to actual without adding any ease. Before proceeding to mark the round ankle measurement, add 7 to 8 inches minimum to the actual length of the garment for chudis or gathers. Now join all these points as shown here. This technique would be ideal for up to XL sizes. For sizes above XXL, of course, the fabric requirement and cutting techniques would vary slightly, which we would share later as a video at some other point. So this is your personalized churidar pattern, which you can save and use repeatedly and get the same perfect consistent fitting each time. Follow the same method on full scale on a brown paper and prepare your personalized pattern. Now let's see how to prepare the fabric. Fold the fabric into double on its length and then fold it into a true bias grain. To know more about different grains, check out our earlier video on grain lines. So this is how the fabric looks when 2 layers of fabric is folded on a true bias, that is 4 layers of fabric in a triangular form, presenting the full view of the fabric as well. Now let's place the pattern on the fabric. Note here that the outer leg of the churidar pattern should be placed over the folded side of the fabric as shown here. Again, the belt portion of the pattern needs to be cut on cross grain. Hence, we shall cut it off as a separate pattern piece and keep aside. Start pinning from the lowermost end of the fabric. Just leave 1 inch at the ankle level as seam allowance. And along the inner side of the legs, mark 1 inch as seam allowance throughout. At the hemline, mark 1 inch below for folding and stitching. At the top straight edge that has to join with the belt, mark ½ inch as seam allowance. At the center front point of the churidar, utilize how much ever fabric is available and from the edge of the cloth, join it gradually with the seam line. Thus, we get extra ease at the crotch and thigh area. So, at this point, the cutting line that we are marking would be more than 1 inch as we are utilizing how much ever fabric is available and gradually joining this line with the cutting line of our pattern. This is how the leg patterns look like after cutting. Now let's check out how to cut the belt. Like I mentioned earlier, we have to cut the belt portion on cross grain. From the remaining material, we place the belt pattern on cross grain such that the top edge of the belt is 1 or 1½ inches below the selvage. We place the belt pattern on 2 layers of fabric and on fold. Mark ½ inch seam allowance on the remaining 2 sides as shown here. Cut and keep aside. Belt is the last portion we would be attaching. Now let's get to the stitching order. Fold the hemline at the ankle end and pin them and run a machine stitch. Let's check the amount of stretch on true bias here. After this, we join the 2 straight edges at the top end as shown here. That is, we have to join only one side. Similarly, we also join the 2 layers of the belt portion and make it into a single piece of fabric. Now, match the center back seam of the belt with the center back seam of the lower portion of the churidar. Pin them together and start tacking or pinning the churidar material with the belt towards the outer edge. When you reach the outer edge of the belt, you will find about 5 to 6 inches of extra fabric. This extra fabric can be gathered or pleated up from the outer edge inwards. After doing for both edges this way, machine stitch the belt with the lower portion. As this is a printed cloth, gathers may not be quite visible on this video, hence providing the same view of a churidar made of a solid color. Arrange and place the front edges together and join the center fronts together after tacking. Remember to leave the top 3 to 4 inches of the center front seam unstitched as shown here. Fold this opening, that is, make 2 folds within the seam and make a continuous stitch from one top edge to the other as shown here. After this, we just have to fold 1 inch or 1½ inches, whatever we have left at the selvage as seam allowance. We just have to do a single fold here and do a continuous stitch as we have the upper edge on the selvage and that doesn't need a double fold. Then we get to the inner leg seam. Just ensure to match all seam points perfectly and then start machine stitching. Start from the hemline of one of the legs and make a continuous stitch till the hemline of the other leg. And lo, the finished product is ready. Hope you all found this video helpful. Try this method out and share your experiences with us. Catch you all soon with a new video on a new concept. Happy creative time until then. Also, like and share this video and don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notified about our upcoming videos.